Hi, I'm Dre. I'm your mindset coach and mentor of change, and I want to welcome you to another one of our get togethers. Today, we look to answer the question how to build a money mindset of abundance and transform your life. Today, we look to answer the question how to build a money mindset of abundance and change your life. When it comes to money and the beliefs that you have about it, it's no different than the beliefs that you really have about anything in your life. Your beliefs create your actions, and your actions create your reality. So, what I mean is the amount of money that you have today is directly tied to the beliefs that you have about money today. You will find that people who are wealthy, the millionaires and billionaires, they have different beliefs about money than the people who are poor and middle class. There are actually even some studies that talk about the mindset of poverty, how it's not just that someone was born in a situation, it's that they've created a sort of a mindset that keeps them exactly where they're at. And whether you want to call this a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset, is really kind of just your preference on that one. But what I really want you to understand is the beliefs that you have create the life that you have. So if there is something that you want to change about your life, then the first thing that you have to do is recognize that it is the beliefs that you have that create it, and then find those beliefs, see why they're there, and the ones that aren't working, you want to shift the way that you look at them. Either that is a very quick reframing exercise where you just change the way that you talk to yourself, or you have to just remove the beliefs altogether. And we're going to talk about ways to recognize your money mindset beliefs, as well as seeing which ones work for you and which ones you want to change out and adapt. And that is kind of one of the reasons I think it's really important that whenever you hear people talk about like money and like redistributing it and things of this nature, that at the end of the day, I'm definitely one of the people that believe that if you took all the money in the world and you put it in one big bag and then you gave everyone an equal portion from that bag, in 5 to 10 years, the money is going to be exactly where it started in the first place. And the reason is very simple. There is a belief that is instilled in each of us that creates exactly where we're at. And I just want you to insert any of your favorite lottery winners where they were rich and they went broke, or maybe an athlete or an actor or a performer, someone who maybe just had some sort of talent, but they never built the mindset to have that money, and they ended up losing it all in a very short amount of time. So, what I mean is, even if you gave someone all the money that they think they want, if they haven't built the mindset for it, they're just going to eventually revert back to the mindset that they had, which is going to put them right back where they were at. And if you think about even with some of your children, when you talk about teaching them the value of a dollar, if you are unable to teach them the value of a dollar, what happens? They end up spending it all and wasting it. So we already understand that there are some beliefs that it's really important that we instill them. And so when you are first figuring out, well, what is the beliefs that I have about money if I'm not satisfied in the sense that there's more that I want to do in life, whether that's taking better care of my family, whether that's having more time at home, or just whatever the word means to you, the first thing that you want to do is define what does money mean to you. And if ideally, I just want you to create one word. In one word, what does money mean to you? And then you can put that in the comments and you can share that and just go ahead and think about it for a few seconds. But I want you to put it closer to the first thing, not maybe what you believe society would want you to say, but generally when you say, what does money mean to me? And then when you think about that, be like, okay, now that money means that, well, what does that mean? So if money means freedom, well, why is that? And what another way to think of this question is, why do you want to have money? Because money is just a form of exchange. So it's not like you just having money, you're going to be like Scrooge McDuck, just like swimming in a vault. Money is used to exchange something. There's really nothing magical about money in the sense that, well, I have this piece of paper and this means more, this matters more. Well, no. What gives money as a value is our belief that we'll be able to exchange it for something else of actual value. Money itself doesn't actually have the value. It's the fact that we can exchange it for something that even creates the resemblance of value, but you really want to make sure that you understand that you're not just trying to get more money, you're not just trying to get rich for the sake of getting rich. There is something that you want to do in your life. And whether that is taking care of family, whether that's traveling, whether that's starting a company, whether that's retiring at like 45 or whatever it means to you, you have to really understand that it's not about the money. And this is important because you start to be able to separate the reality of money and the emotions that we've thrown into it. So the next thing that you would do is you would try to figure out, well, what have I been taught about money? So this would be in the past. So you may have religious views about money that makes it difficult for you to acquire it. Maybe you've been taught that the idea of having money is a negative. It means that you are selfish or you've gotten about ill-gotten gains. Maybe money from growing up, money means that, well, we're going to run out of it, so we can't spend it. So you don't really do anything with it. You just kind of hold on to it. And you're not able to really grow beyond wherever you're at because you'll find that people who have wealth, they generally believe money is used to leverage. So they don't look at money as in, I'm getting money and that's what I want. They look at money as in, how can I make this money work for me? And you'll find that when we have more poverty, middle class mindsets, we generally don't like leveraging money. It seems like that our goal is to get there, and as soon as we get it, why would I then give it away or put it back at risk for something? But you really want to understand that that belief, that mindset is what is exactly leaving you where you are at today. And so when you explore your past, you will look in any experiences, conversations, maybe just things that you've watched, whether that was the way that your parents talked about money or the way that people that maybe had money treated you, whatever it is, these past experiences have created the perception you have about money. And they play a direct role in the amount that you have and whether you're able to accomplish the goals that you want in relation to it. Then you want to move into your current views about money. Like, what does money mean to me today? How would I feel if I had more of it? How does it make me feel when I have less of it? Because when you think about changing your life, you think about abundance and you think about scarcity, right? These are feelings. These are not actually the money. So when you're thinking about the emotions tied to the money, then what is it about abundance? What is it about freedom that you're interested in? Assuming that maybe you use words like that. What is it about being out of debt? What is it about retiring your spouse because you just want to be able to give them that stress-free life? Like, what is it about the money that you're trying to get that's creating that feeling that you are actually striving for? And we often just really get stuck on the idea that money is going to change everything, but it's more like money magnifies whatever's already there. And so you really want to understand what is there and do I want to magnify that? I'm a big believer that change comes from the inside out. So if you give someone money and they don't know what to do with it, then they're most likely going to waste it. If someone was a jerk broke, then they're going to be a jerk with money. Even though some people think money changes people, it really just magnifies who you always were. Maybe you were dealing with some sort of fears and self doubt where you didn't express the thoughts that you had, but you still had the thoughts. And so, whenever you're trying to understand your current views on money, you really want to just take a moment and say, what am I motivated by? What am I trying to accomplish and get out of this? And how would I feel if I had a bunch of money? And I actually have a bonus question at the end that I'm going to save at the end. I'm just going to tease it that I was reading, and it was a really good question. It was a really good lineup of questions just to help you understand your overall money philosophy. And you want to see if you can recognize any of these false beliefs that maybe you have about money, and then you want to understand how do I change them? So, for example, if your current views about money is if you have money, then you're rich, but you're unhappy. If you don't have money, then you're poor, but you're healthy. If you have these beliefs, then obviously you're not going to be working towards gaining any sort of income because you subconsciously believe that it's tied to an unhealthy lifestyle. When it will be more accurate to tell yourself, the money that I have and the way that I go about getting it, that is one small sliver of my actual health. There's lots of decisions that I make that directly impact the health that I have, and work-life balance is a part of it. It's not one to be overlooked, but it's not the end all be all. We can make small sacrifices in the short term. We can still get the proper amount of sleep. We can still make decisions that doesn't make that a true statement. But you have to believe that that is possible. Another example may be the more money you have, the more problems that you have. Well, if you believe that, why in the world would you be interested in changing anything except changing out the money? Because you believe that it creates more problems. If you believe that, why would you be spending any time trying to secure more money? If you believe money creates problems, then you should be getting rid of it all. You should be giving it away and not to people that you love because, again, it creates problems. And I think you can already start to recognize some of the contradictions here, right? If you have these beliefs, then the natural reaction would be to get rid of it. But then on a conscious level, you want to gain more of it because you have goals that you're trying to accomplish, changes that you're trying to enact in your life. And when you start to recognize that there are some beliefs that you are holding true to in your actions, but they're keeping you from accomplishing the goals that you have over here. And so you really want to find a way to bring those together. So when you start recognizing this, instead of saying money creates problems, instead of maybe you would say, I have to understand, educate myself so I can make sure I manage my money well. Because you're still acknowledging that having more money changes some part of your life, but at the same time, you're not saying that it's just a slam dunk that if you have more money, you have more problems. Another example that someone may have is those who have money, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Instead, you take more of an ownership perspective where you're saying, I have the ability to completely transform my financial life because you do. One of my favorite techniques to get rid of limiting beliefs is often to find one example of my belief being false. Because if I can find one example, then that by definition means I can change my reality too. But what we often end up doing is we get in the soundscape where all we're hearing is people reinforcing the beliefs that we already have, where you're just sitting in this echo chamber instead of you just took one step outside of it and look to see if what you believe is actually true. So if you believe negative thoughts about money where people who have it are sleazy or stole it or they're born into it or whatever you believe, these are all going to keep you from creating the reality that you want about your financial life. And so you really just want to understand that these beliefs are all false. I can find you one example of someone succeeding in the worst and most unlikeliest of scenarios, and that means that you have the ability to do so too. And it's really important to have that tinge of optimism if you plan on changing your money mindset. And when you think about leaving your comfort zone, you have to be courageous, brave. You have to believe that you have the ability to control your financial life. If you don't believe that, then there's no reason to try. The beliefs that you have created the reality that you have today, so just go ahead and hang up the cape and just accept the life that you have. But I assume you're listening to this, you're watching this because you know that there is something that you can truly do to change it. And I'm telling you, it starts with your beliefs. And then you want to move. So you've already done the past, you've already done what does being rich mean to me, you've already talked about the emotion. We moved into the present where we talk about how I feel about it now, the beliefs that I have currently, and the actions that it creates. The last phase that we move into is the future, which naturally makes sense. So, what you're doing now is you're saying, okay, how do I feel about my ability to accomplish these financial goals I set for myself? If you're sitting there saying that I'm going to fail, it's not going to work, then believe me when I tell you that, hey, you're probably going to fail and it's not going to work. If you instead believe that it may be difficult, but I can prepare accordingly, again, I would call this the growth mindset. I always speak on the growth mindset. The growth mindset is the idea that you have the ability to learn and adapt to anything that you need to get from where you are to where you want to be. As long as you believe that about all aspects of your life, then your financial life will be no different. You will have the proper money mindset. You'll be able to say that I need to secure ABC so I can accomplish DEG. And you'll go and do that. You'll look up whatever strategies you need. You'll read some articles on people accomplishing those goals, and you will then put the plans in place for you to do the same. As you know, I'm a big fan of simplification. It's not enough for you to simply put a plan together because sometimes you're reinventing the wheel, and that's difficult. Other times, it's just more important to find examples where it has worked in similar situations, ones that you're comfortable following, and then to go out and do it. And I encourage you to kind of just be, I would say, be fair to yourself You're already changing your beliefs, you're already changing your actions. At least have a map that's been proven to work, a process that you understand that will definitely get you from point A to point B because it's already worked, versus completely trying something new because now it's not a question of can I change my beliefs? Can I change my financial situation? Now it's a question of is this plan I have going to work? And that's another struggle of its own. So I'm just really trying to help you to kind of challenge one thing at a time, just tackle one thing at a time. And I actually want to end with a question that I found on Natalie Bacon. She actually talked about, she's like a financial planner and she has a lot of stuff on money. And I really liked her bonus question. So I'm just going to read it to you guys. And she actually credits this from Brooke Costello. So we're just crediting it to everybody. And she says if you basically answer these questions, write them down, you'll find a lot about your beliefs about money. So she says, how would you spend $1 million if you received it right now? Would you tell people why or why not? What would you make this money mean? What would other people make it mean? And you really want to think deep about these questions because it's going to tell you a lot about your overall money philosophy. And if you look at the answers to these questions and you don't like what that means, i.e., the beliefs and the actions that it has to create, then you want to see if you can understand what would I have to do to change my beliefs to match the actions and results that I want to get. Because they have to be connected. There is no way to have a disconnect, right? If you believe that money is the root of all evil, then clearly you would be doing things that would keep you from having it. If you believe that money is a tool for leverage, one that is just simply in exchange for things that I actually want, then you won't be holding on to money as tight because you believe it is simply a tool for leverage. It's no different than a hammer, and a toolbox is no different than a screwdriver. It's simply a tool that is used to build what I want. And you really want to just see if you can figure out your answers to these questions because, again, the beliefs that you have create your actions, and your actions create your reality. The wealthy millionaires and billionaires do not share the same beliefs about money as the poor and middle class. So if you want to adjust your money mindset to change your life, you're going to want to examine the past. You're going to want to see if you can figure it out and understand your future. And you're going to want to make sure that you see whatever is in your present that you can change. You just want to eliminate these false beliefs, reframe some of them. You'll always be able to find an example where what you believe is not true. And that's basically the easiest way that I'm able to create, hey, this is a false belief. I should remove this. It's limiting my ability to accomplish my goals. And I just always encourage you guys to do that because it's going to help you a lot. And so I always think for our time together, my name is Dre. I'm always encouraged by whenever you watch the video, so leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have not already, go ahead and go to the letter U, forecasthope.com. You can join and get a free membership there. We have tons of videos and contents, articles, resources that are already available for you. If you need anything else, all you have to do is go into the community and just ask. I'm always in there and I'll see if it's something that I can put together. Again, until next time, my name is Dre. Continue blessings on your journey to become the champion of your life.